Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I did not know I was having you today, John. Still a pleasure, but it's
All right.
okay. Yeah, I'll take it.
All right.
Um,
Well, I'm glad we got to connect. Hopefully, it's not too much trouble for you.
no, 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 it's gonna be fine. Love it. Love the band, love you guys. So it's a pleasure nonetheless. Well, here we are. It's the eve of, well, John Boecklin. Let's introduce you first. Bad Wolves. Here we are. Coming off a hit already. Well, we're still on it for Lifeline, and on the eve of the new album, which is going to be released tomorrow, I believe, right?
Correct.
Yeah, Dear Monsters. I mean, you guys have already had such success with all your previous stuff, and now you're jumping in um, to the waters deep already. How's it feel to just get right back into it?
Kind of surreal. We all are going through this pandemic, and us with introducing the new singer, lineup change, new record. It's a lot at once, and to just see radio respond to Lifeline is amazing. It's like everything's fingers crossed, and then so the launch pad seems all right so far. We got a bunch of tours lined up, for Europe and America, and it's like, all right, we're getting back to business here. We saw the forest, through the trees, and it was kind of just difficult at times, but now we're here, and it feels so good to have a record coming out tomorrow. Dear Monsters, yeah, October 29th, you're correct. And we're dropping all our tours tomorrow, and we're gonna even play another video, launch another video, and Lifeline's at number 5 right now at Active Rock, I believe, or
Crazy.
6. It's top 10. It's just like, wow, it's just a lot of hard work paying off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like you guys just opened the door and it was like, okay, we're back, boom, and it was like a light switch. I remember when they played me the song initially before it got released, and I was like, oh yeah, these guys are gonna be good. Everything's gonna be all right here, and and it had to be a good feeling as soon as radio took to it for you guys. Amazing stuff. Tell me, because you did mention the pandemic, where were you guys in the process of whatever was going on with you guys when all that stuff hit? What was going on?
We were starting to write for a new record, and we had a co-headliner set up, which was going to do so well. Was with Hollywood Undead, and all of a sudden it shuts down in March, and then everyone's like, this won't last that long, Yeah, right. And there was 2 years later almost, or whatever, So it's hard to even remember where our heads were at right when that started. Yeah, and then we have a lineup change, and then we went through this whole process of a singer search, and we all unanimously voted DL, and got this record finished, titled it Dear Monsters, and we're on our way.
Did the pandemic, when it set you back, did it change the way you guys were writing anything or anything in that regard?
Yes, we, instead of me going to Vegas, where our pretty much where we track most our guitars and drums and stuff like that is in Vegas with a gentleman named Max Karen. I said, okay, he was very conscious and was uncomfortable getting together. So we started working remotely from home. So we would do it over the computer. I would use my phone for FaceTime and the computer, and I would be part of his session with this thing called Audio Links. And yeah, so we were writing from our homes, but communicating like simultaneously and working. That app became very important to us, and they figured out how to, they dialed that in over the pandemic, because a lot of people were doing it that way. And to be honest, it might be the way we do it in the future. I don't have to travel. I can sit and have online sessions with, musicians. I have to teach them or show them my riff ideas, and they calculate it over there. It's a pretty interesting way to work, but it's really nice. You wake up, turn on your computer, go to work, and, don't have to travel.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a lot of things that came out of that are now a standard thing, like these Zoom interviews, for example. We weren't doing these pre-pandemic, and all of a sudden, boom, everything just went straight to this. And it's like, why weren't we doing this before?
Yeah, a lot of
So
businesses like getting rid of their office spaces,
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. It's pretty interesting what the pandemic did to a lot of business, and reshaped how day-to-day communication can actually work.
So the process must have been, I'm sure you carve out a time period of like, we're going to be involved with the album, from here to here, and a whole timeline. So it must have stretched things out. Do you think some things came out of it that you would never have had otherwise?
Yes, I think that's a floating narrative no matter what on an album. You can experience a tragedy, the record wouldn't be the same if that didn't happen. You can experience joy and the record wouldn't be the same. And yeah, it was just a long holding pattern where things didn't get rushed, I'll tell you that.
That's for
we,
sure.
we kind of sat on things, and I think there's a lot of things that we did that are really important that will come out later. Like we just had an abundance of work, and it was hard to pick and choose where to start and what to work on because we had so much material.
Was it a clear choice that Lifeline was going to be the lead single for it?
No, it was very, a lot of things were considered. Trying to analyze how we should come out first was very, very important and strategically, calculated. Some of us wanted to come out heavier. Some of us wanted to come out softer. We felt Lifeline at the end of the day was the right middle of the road that has a good enough heavy, a good enough heart, a good enough passion, but is also, more palatable than some of the other songs.
Tell me about the title, Dear Monsters. Where did that come from? Is there a title track to it?
No, there's not a title track to it. It's something I have a laundry list of ideas, as the other members did, of what we were going to call a record. Nothing was really clicking. And for some reason, I woke up in the middle of the night and I just that kind of pops. I wrote it down in my my phone. And then when I woke up the next morning and kind of thought about it, I brought it to the band. They really liked it. And I thought, it's just kind of what it means is it's open to interpretation, but for me, it just means all the turmoil and all the struggles of the past 2 years, relationships, significant others, death, everything wrapped up in once. I just kind of felt like penning a letter to all those problems. Did I write that letter? No, I kind of left it open, but it's just like, I just kind of said that, and that's the kind of vibe that brings. It's a little bit darker than our other album titles, and it's a little bit more personal. And also the artwork with it is a little bit darker. It's like Bad Wolves 2.0. It's modified. Like we're getting away from the more cartoonish logo, going into something a little bit more serious. And this record, not that I say our other records weren't serious, but this one's just a little bit darker.
Yeah, just the overall tone of it. I was about to ask that, because if you got a title like that, then I would imagine that it kind of dictates the tone of the album as well. Do you feel that you wrote differently to get that, or did it just come out naturally like that? How's that happen? What's the progression of that?
There's never been with Bad Wolves a let's make a dark record. Some of it's just a little bit more. No, there was no mission statement to make a dark record. It just kind of evolved into that. But also this isn't like 9 Inch Nails, the Downward Spiral dark record. It's definitely certainly listenable. And there's some, like a song like Springfield Summer is borderline. It's very poppy. Almost some people call it kind of country. So that's also a very opposite end of what we can do. It's a very uplifting song and hopeful song. So no, there's never a mission statement to go one way or the other.
Well, it's interesting because just in general, I've always found your band to be, have different elements to it, because live, let's backtrack. When people hear the hits on the radio, they're expecting just one kind of linear sort of thing. And you go to see you guys live and it's like, oh, you guys do this. Oh, you do that. Oh, you guys are over here. You're over there. So it's always been kind of like that anyway. So I suppose it's not really out of your sandbox to do something like that. Speaking of live, you guys were one of the last shows I saw before the whole pandemic struck. It was I didn't see anything in 2020. 2019 you guys came to Tucson and played a show here with Five Finger Death Punch. You were on the road with them, and it was a great show, and the whole thing. And now you're talking about tomorrow you're going to start introducing some new tour dates. How do you feel about hitting the road now?
It's going to be like it always is with a long period of off time. You gotta dust yourself off and get out there. And feel each other out on stage with, you know, the new singer Daniel, and really fucking do the work before we get out there to make sure that we're prepared. But yeah, like anything, there's learning curves. And I remember when Bad Wolves started and we started playing, I hadn't played shows in 2 years. So it's the same kind of vibe. I'm a little nervous, but not because of reaction. I'm just a little nervous too. I got to make sure I can still play the drums right. You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
and I mean, you know, the landscape's a little bit different. Are you guys approaching it differently? You know, is there, you know, things you're putting in place that you didn't have before, or anything like that type of thing?
I think it's one step at a time with us, and we're not looking to come out and do something drastically different. Like, we're not going to have some massive show. It's just going to be us playing some songs and introducing DLs. Basically, people are going to make their decisions, you know, and
Well,
we're going to get out there and just play fucking hard.
let's talk about him for a minute, because you guys had a relationship with him prior to him being in the band. At what point did you guys go, you know, maybe we should go this route? Or, you know, who brought that into the mix?
Oh, it was no, it's hard to kind of remember it all, like really detailed point by point. But I believe I suggested it, and everyone else had already thought of it as well. Because we worked with him in the past, there wasn't a lot of work we did together. I sent him a track. We needed a vocal line for the chorus. He sent it right back. And I remember going, man, this guy, he's a great singer. And we didn't need to touch up anything he did. So that was that. It was very quick. But he was in the back of my brain. And as well, a lot of friends texted me immediately and said, you got to get DL. You got to get DL. So, you know, he went through all the stages of our tryouts, which was sing some old songs, send it to us. Did that. Then let's get in a room together and see how that goes. You know, he made it to that tier of a tryout. And then afterwards, it was a unanimous vote that he was the guy. There was a lot of other people that tried out, and I just enjoyed. I was like, all right, guys, let's all vote. And I loved it when it all came back. Everyone, 5 of us DL, or 4 of us, sorry, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it came about. And with him, the positives are, you know, he's a producer, he's a guitar player, he's a songwriter. So those are all very strong shoots to have. So we don't have to bring in someone and just tell them what to do all the time. He has his own voice, his own opinion, and his own style. So we're really excited to not have just like a soldier boy out there, like, you know, do this, do that. Yo, you got it. It's kind of, he does his own thing, and we don't really have to worry too much. It's great.
So he contributed to the songwriting on this album?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he stepped in. A lot of things were done already.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote vocal melodies. Me and him mainly wrote the song Springfield Summer. He wrote an entire song called I Don't Want to Feel. Yeah, there's just a lot. It's hard to, I'm like going over it right now. And more importantly, too, we had a lot of songs where he was picking the ones that we should go for, you know. He has a leadership in him that I enjoy, because I don't think anyone in the band enjoys being the leader all the time, you know. So it's like it's kind of nice that he has a confidence in himself. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. Or, you know, it's great.
Well, he fits right in. Like, immediately, he sounds like he's Bad Wolves. I mean, you hear it and it sounds like Bad Wolves. So it sounds like a great fit for you guys. And I'm glad that you guys got somebody like him, because I frankly was like, where's this going to go? What's going to happen? And, you know, I was really happy for your success before, and I'm sure you're going to have continued success. So it looks like it's going to be a good future for you guys with this album. Dear Monsters coming out tomorrow. Looking forward to it. How many tracks on the album?
12.
12 tracks, 12 brand new tracks. And I will be featuring a whole bunch of those on our Sunday new music show this Sunday. So looking forward to playing those and getting those out there. So John, a pleasure. Looking forward to you guys getting out on the road. I hope there's some dates in Arizona when you announce those, and we'll see you guys soon.
You're awesome. Thank you for your continued support, man. It means the world to us. And without you guys, we're not really doing what we're doing, are we? So I appreciate it, and I'll see you soon, bud.
All right. Take care, man.
All right. You too. Bye.
Yeah.